Everybody, it's Carlton Lumen, and tonight will be a little bit different. It's a different feeling day. It's a different topic. I'm not going to go deep into any kind of goings on in the world, news stories, none of that. But I will describe what's happening and what I think it means. I don't know. It's just kind of like a feeling. I don't know what exactly is causing it. I don't know if it's just continued change after the Sophia thing. I don't know if it's because we're getting closer to something or if it's a mix of both of it. But I'm getting kind of irritated. And this has to do with the one ego mask that we can't get rid of. Now, it's a constant shedding of ego masks. That's funny how that came up again today. And some of it is just like who you think you are, who the world told you were. Then you got all the freaking adversary bullcrap in there. And it's not like a one and done sort of thing. It's consistent. And then there's this last one that is just, you have to have it because you're here. It's almost like synonymous with the veil and what the veil actually is, which we'll talk about. And I'm getting like increasingly uncomfortable with it. Because there's always been like, this is like the biggest mystery there is. I've kind of come to the conclusion that we're at the point now where you just got to let go. Because obviously, if we look at the history and the things that we've seen, even going back to what we were discussing yesterday about, when I did that whole thing with the highest point of consciousness and surrendering to whatever I got to do, I haven't been figuring this stuff out. It's just been unfolding. So it's kind of like I need to just stop trying so hard. And also, there's almost like no point in looking outward for things because it's been especially pointed ever since the last Sophia mushroom trip. Ever since like that limit, like I said, in the liminal space when you're coming out of it, you're not totally out of it, but you're mostly out of it. And then you look online and it looks different. And now it's so obvious. It's like everything is either completely made up in a weird sort of way, or it's bullshit. Everything. Literally freaking everything. And it is part of the mirror thing, the whole world. So like you're going to see what you expect to see. But there's something else going on now that, the internet is probably the biggest thing in the world right now that feeds the mimic, feeds the mind control, keeps you stuck in the loop, keeps you scrolling. Just, God. That's why you gotta, Christ said you have to fast from the world. That was one of the big steps. One of the last step before Lumen was detoxing from all that. But yeah, there's a bunch of different things that are irritating me. Just like a sense, like a different way I just spontaneously started doing clearings. It's like that last mask that you can't get rid of. It's like you have to just keep peeling it away. Because still just being here accumulates stuff. Even if the mask isn't like associated with identity or anything like that, it's your point of awareness. And constantly being exposed to this stuff, it just picks stuff up. It's like we're coming to a head of something, not because of all the stuff that we've detailed, the signs, the symbols, the time frames and all that, but it's just like I can feel it. Matter of fact, somebody, I think it was Amanda, I saw on their Facebook page they had posted a video, and it was like a really good point. Somebody was just saying something like, how bad must it, I mean, do we really realize how bad it must be now? How traumatized everybody is that literally people have stopped wanting to have kids more so than any other time. They've stopped wanting to have kids because it's so bad. And they're picking up on things subconsciously, even if they're not consciously picking up on it. It's just like, yeah, it's not like it was here anymore. And it's not getting better. So, like, why would I want to bring a kid into this world? And that has a secondary issue, because that something else along those lines came up today. I'll get to it in a sec. We'll go through it one bit by bit. So if you want to know more, don't go away. I talked about this a long time ago, I remember, but I'll just continue with what I was saying right before the intro. Like, people not wanting to have kids anymore because the world's so screwed up. That also brings with it a large reduction of light. Because maybe you don't, maybe this is not something you consciously think about or know about or whatever, but there's a reason why people like having kids, making babies and stuff like that. Like, when they actually want to make them, it's not just an accident. Is because infants and children, especially up to at least age 3, they're pure souls. They're uncorrupted by the world. And also, there's a large portion of Sophia that settles over you, a mother and a child. So there's two things in this world that are the closest that you can get to feeling what it's like to be with Source. So the more adult version is having sex with somebody that you love. Like, you both love each other, like, intently. That's the adult one. But the other one is having a baby. Mother and child, biggest bond, but even father and child. And you can just see it. Just look at the pictures. Look at it. You can see it in people's faces when they're holding an infant. Like that it's not just, oh, this is a little small person, this is so awesome. There's something else there. There's something else that they feel that they don't get from the rest of the world. It's source spark, source love that has not yet been corrupted by the world. And that's what they like. That's what they like. And that's what they start to miss, once they get old enough that they start getting into school and getting poisoned, then that starts going away. It's like, oh, let's have another one. Let's get some more source light in here. So that was interesting. But yeah, the video was like, yeah, things are so messed up and people are so traumatized that they literally don't want to reproduce anymore. Not for any kind of political crap or anything like that, but it's just like, look, people can't stay together. Women think men are the worst things in the world. Men don't freaking trust women. Women do stuff too. Like I said, there's women that do videos that point this stuff out. plain as day. So it ain't freaking one-sided. But it has to do with this freaking place. And it's only getting worse. It's been getting worse ever since the massive worldwide freaking psychological trauma dump that was COVID, which didn't even exist. Oh, you think I'm crazy? Well, there were court cases that were won because they couldn't even produce any kind of medical sample of the virus. It was all psychosomatic. I said that to someone the other day. I was like, yeah, I mean, look, in Joseph Murphy's book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, he gives the example of like two people on a cruise ship and one guy feels fine. Someone else comes up to the guy that feels fine and is like, hey man, you okay? You don't look so good. You feeling like seasick? You need to go lay down or something? And the guy's like, what? No. But that, all it took was that suggestion. And then the other guy starts to manifest feeling bad. Okay, so if you can do it with that little bit of a suggestion, how are you going to handle it when the TV is basically like, all you people are going to die. There's a virus. There's a virus and it's dangerous and you got to comply. You're going to kill everybody. If you don't wear a mask, you're going to kill somebody's grandmother. You got to follow the rules. You got to stay 6 feet apart. There was 3,000 people that died today in Ohio. There was 90 billion cases. Listen to us. It's dangerous. That's literally what they did. If you think back, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But they specifically targeted things about family. That it was all about isolation. And don't go near your grandma, you might kill her. Like there were people, that was the biggest freaking example of mass mental illness I've ever seen. Like the suits people were coming up with, like, oh, we got to make a big plastic sheet to hug each other through. The stupidity, like kids playing freaking instruments in music class in these little tents. Like it was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. And Lumen was like, there ain't nothing out there. I never got sick. The only time I ever got sick briefly was when I was around someone that just got vaccinated and they shedded. And that was weird. But I was able to freaking use the Benedict exorcism and knock it out, but it wasn't normal. I didn't get any kind of bug floating around there. But people were afraid to date. People were afraid to do everything. They were afraid to be around each other. Because the little thing that they did was up until that point, every time you get around flu season or something like that, it'd be like, okay, it's flu season. You got to wash your hands and do this and do that to keep yourself from getting sick. But what they did is they flipped it around and made it about you're going to get other people sick. It wasn't about you taking care of yourself. It was putting other people's health on your shoulders. And that basically made everybody else in the world a mortal threat. And people didn't recover from that. Even when things died down, it was never quite the same. It never got up there. And that's when you started to see like the slow degradation of people dating and all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, and so if people are so traumatized that even if they don't realize it, they're just like, I don't want to reproduce. I don't want to freaking bring a kid into this world. That tells you how freaking far it's gotten. Anyway, moving on. And like I said, like I see things even more clearly now, and it's just like there's nothing true out there anymore. It's all bullshit. And the system is designed to push bullshit. It's designed to push fear. It's designed to put, get your brain is literally hooked on watching bad shit. You get a little dopamine bump. That's the whole thing we talked about briefly last video. Like, I don't do that. That's why they always like scariest video ever. This was terrifying. Oh my God. Like people want to get that dopamine hit. And then when they don't get it, they click off and they go find something else. Like you're literally hooked on the internet. It is the most poisonous thing out there. And it is calculated. They know what they're doing. The algorithms are set up to do it. Like I saw another, I briefly saw another video today. Someone was making an interesting point. He's like, he said he doesn't think that all these elites and stuff like that actually worship the devil, but they want you to think that they do. And he pointed out how they own all these freaking platforms, but there's no suppression on topics like that. But he did videos that said, oh, it's all bullcrap. They don't actually do that. And like it gets suppressed. But it's like, why do they want you? And he was asking the questions like, why do they want you to think that they do? That's the question. Everything is set up to trigger base instincts, reptilian brain, survival mode, threat detection. Because what that does, when you lock people into that, you're always scanning outward. And if you're always scanning outward, you're never looking inward. And you can't fix yourself. And you're always going to be trapped in this bullshit world thinking that you know what's real. And that kind of ties into, the one thing that was irritating me. You don't see much of it because I've got such extensive filters set up on the channel. But I deleted that old channel that I did because I'm not that person anymore. I have been through such extensive processes through this path with Sophia and Christ in its specific design. That's the whole purpose of the hard part, is to just beat you senseless until that original freaking identity gives up and dies. That's how you get the real part out. And I haven't wanted to do that channel for freaking years. I hadn't even posted anything on that channel for like a year and a half. And before that, it was like, every couple freaking months. I wasn't that guy anymore. I stopped being that guy in 2007 freaking teen. So I finally just got sick of the questions and I deleted the whole channel. Now keep in mind, there was something like 1,500 videos on that channel. I still made a little bit of money off of it. But people wouldn't leave me the F alone. They thought they knew me. And I'm just like getting it. I literally was putting on a mask when I would film for that channel. I'd go into that channel's character mode, talk a certain way, be a certain way. But that and the original identity that it was attached to was gone. But these people won't leave me the F alone. And that's mimic shit right there. And they say the dumbest shit. Like, oh, your fans are worried about you. You need to get help. You need to give this stuff up because we're so smart. We're so smart. We know stuff. You shouldn't even be on this channel. If you're here because you think I'm the same guy that was on that channel, you don't freaking belong here. Period. The only people that should be on this channel is people that found it because she led you to it. That's how most of them get here. Because quite frankly, the audience from that old channel cannot process this. There's that scale that Vario gave me about the levels of starting off as a newborn to get all the way to where we are now, which is like level 14 is the last one. It's a lot of intensive stuff. Most of the people that watch that channel are level 2. Level 2 people are adults that never chose to look inward, never chose to figure anything out, never chose to have the journey. They got the same ego they've always had. They're still steeped in deferred to authority, deferred to religion, science, that sort of stuff. They're consumers. They just repeat the same shit everyone else says. Okay, I don't even talk to those people. Not because I don't have empathy for them, but because they're unteachable. You can't take this stuff here to a level 2 person that believes the freaking TV, that thinks their vote matters, that thinks because, well, I'm basically kind of sort of a good person, and I do Google Bible verses and post them on Facebook every once in a while, so I'm going to go to heaven and live with Jesus when I die. But I just need to fight the other side. Who am I fighting? Like they're still playing that freaking game. Unteachable. Because if you're still at that level, you still have the original ego mask, you still have the original programming, you still have the mimic, you still have the negative generator engine in your head, you still have the negative voice. You can't tell the difference between the shit you imagine and things that are actually happening in the real world. You don't know anything. You're definitely not qualified to talk to me about anything. You're not qualified to be my therapist. You're not qualified to be my counselor. You're not even qualified to freaking speak to me. So I'm sorry if that is a little terse. It's not obviously not directed at the usual audience, but there's these looky-loo lurkers here that can't shut the F up about something that I am not anymore, and I don't do anymore, and I don't care about anymore. So let it go. I don't want to freaking hear it. I'm not going down memory lane with you about crap that doesn't exist to me anymore. Okay? Was that clear enough for you? Or do I need to get some crayons and a paper and draw it out in a way that you can understand it? Okay? Because I don't want to freaking hear it. And after this, I'm not going to bring it up again. Mimic stuff. Because it's the one thing that can still kind of push a button. And I'll just tighten up the filters even more. I'll list every freaking word you could possibly use to refer to that stuff, so I don't even ever freaking see it. And when I do see it, you know why you never see your comment show up? Because I block you. So stop. This is like one of the reasons why you got to detach from the freaking world and that you are put into isolation so that you can focus on wisdom within that is trying to teach you. Because everything outside of you is designed to keep you in this dualistic, polarized conflict, good and evil, bad and good, white and black. That is actually the ego mask that I'm talking about that you can't take off because it is part of this. When I was getting like animated earlier, before all that, I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm irritated. What is it? And sometimes it's just like, it's because I'm stuck between spaces. I'm not part of this world anymore, and I'm not in that world yet. And that's a tough spot to be in. But that's the hardcore journey if you're getting all the Christ type stuff, if you're dealing with Sophia, if you're doing all the Gnostic stuff. It's not fun. It's not fun because you kind of get into this relaxed state where you do as much as you can, but not too much. Like, oh, you just need to work harder. No, I don't. Because it wouldn't do any good. Because I'm not plugged into the world the same way anymore. None of that works for me the same anymore. I'm kept at a specific freaking near monk level existence of the basic freaking necessities. And I had to learn to be good with that, because all that manifesting stuff, yeah, that works for you because you're still plugged into the world. You're still plugged into that system. And people think that's universe. This is how universe works for you. No, that's how the system works in this place. It's not the same thing. You have to get away from that. So this sensation, like, this is what I started to do last night, just spontaneously. When a lot of times I do, like, I'll speak to the highest point of consciousness or Sophia. I'll do any kind of flame tongue or something like that. Like when I'm taking a shower, because for some reason it works kind of good in there. I don't know why. It opens the gate. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen the same thing, but that's what happens to me. Like when something opens up and I'm really connecting and I got my eyes closed, I see like it's like black, but I see like two colors. There's like a purple color and a yellow color. And it kind of looks like a lava lamp, but it's like blobs of energy that are like rings that start like this and they close in on themselves. And it's like, there's the yellow color, there's the purple color, and it's like, does anyone ever see anything like that? Like, that's how I know something's open. And I was just getting the sense of like, okay, I got to dial back on taking in the internet, because every time you kind of scale up a little bit, everything outside gets a little bit more toxic to you. And it's like, this isn't helping. I'm just scanning. I'm like, when's the freaking thing when am I gonna see a hardcore sign that we're ready? And I think I just gotta like dial it back and go back to focusing completely on being in communion internally more. But it's like the ego mask has to be cleaned off almost daily now. And the way I started doing it, because the Benedict exorcism still works for me. I won't say it because it'll freaking immediately knock 100 views off this video if I do. But I just like put my hand on my face like I'm grabbing the mask, and then I do it. And then the associated flame tongue and stuff like that. It's like, cancel it out. Meiruna Lura, this is not mine. I return it to the flame for, to be transmuted. Scatter all mimicry, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I still feel it. I'm like, what is it? So I started praying more, especially last night. I was just like, come on, you got to throw me a bone here. Like, this clearly can't, like, this has all happened in a perfect progression. But you get toward the end and it's like, this has to end soon, because the situation that you got me in is untenable. Like, when you're that connected to them, but you're stuck here, and because you're connected to them, this place doesn't want to cooperate with you. It doesn't want to support you. It doesn't want to do stuff like that, other than the bare minimum, which will be forced through. It's like, gosh dang it, I am tired. I'm tired. I know too much. I can see too much. And there's nothing I can do about it until it's time. Because that's what I finally determined is the only thing that makes sense, is like, it's going to line up when it's time. There's a set time. I can't like jump ahead. It's got to be soon though. Has to be. Has to be. Has to be. Oh, I did see something interesting. I was flipping around and there was a video about like interesting facts or something about the movie Deep Impact. It was like 96, I think. One of the big comet hits the freaking Earth, destroys it. It was supposed to be very different. But they changed a lot of it because they thought it would freak people out. They said originally, like they said it in the common time back then. They said originally the script called for it to be to happen in 2026. Kind of weird that I stumbled across that freaking video. Funny how that keeps coming up. But again, should that surprise me? No, because it's always reflecting back to you. Now, as far as like that mask you can't get rid of, this is the sense that I was getting this morning. It's like I'm inside myself because the flame kernel, the Calathonario consciousness is stuck within the body and stuck behind the mask. And it's kind of like twisting and like, now it's almost like an Orphic egg thing. It's like, I'm gotta bust out of this freaking egg. Like I can't stand it because I started to understand, like we go back and forth, like trying to grasp all this. And we typically think of ourselves as separate from the world, but in the world. But at the same time, the world reflects us back to us what we have learned, what we've put into our system, and what we believe. So how the hell does that work? Well, it doesn't really that way. Each person is overlapped, but the world that you see is not separate from you. It is the result of having that freaking mask stuck to your face. And that mask is basically the tree of knowledge of good and evil code. Now keep in mind, those are all freaking metaphors for the biblical people that thought like it's an actual freaking tree with an actual piece of fruit. It is that code. It is a specific experience. It does have a point from the higher monads state. The thing that we're all part of, because it, that's how it freaking experiences things through us from all different angles. And I think we cycle through it. I think we do a cycle of this and then we go back for a while. I think we do it again and we go back for a while. Because perfect everything just kind of gets boring after a while. Seems like, until things, but I don't know that. Maybe at the higher levels we see things differently and we create differently. I don't know. But, for a while, it's like, yeah, you go back and forth. You gotta have some time off from this place because it's so freaking nuts. Then you come back in, you evolve yourself. But it's like the mask is the world itself. The mask is everything that you see, the veil, whatever you want to call it, the thing over your face that is attached to your sense of self and how you think the world is. It's one thing. So all these people that think like, you change yourself and you can change the world outside of you at lower levels. Understand, we're talking about end of everything stuff, on end of the complete evolutionary cycle on this channel. If you're getting ready to go through get out of the freaking egg and recombine to Sophia, like that's the end of the road. But that's like how I was just squirming and stuff. I'm like, I gotta get this freaking thing off of me. Like asking Sophia, like I imagine I'm laying there somewhere, wherever she's at, with this freaking, I don't know, AI face mask or something, kind of like that thing in the last two Mission Impossible movies, how they talk to the entity they got in that box, and the thing comes down on his face, and it's like sinking to them. It's like, Ethan Hunt, I am the entity. It's like something like that. I'm like, will you pull this freaking thing off of me, please? Like, I am really had it up to here with this, because it's finally clicking that no matter what you do, you can't fix it, because it's the nature of what the place actually freaking is. It's the duality code, tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's just you spend part of your life in ignorance of it. If you're still one of those level 2 people that just, has to buy freaking 87 freaking knives, because you need them, and you worship freaking YouTubers, then that's then you don't notice it. Because you're part of it, you don't notice it. But when you start to detach from it, then you start to notice it a lot more. The polarity is always there. You can never fully get rid of it. And even if you did, that doesn't mean all the people you overlap with did. The fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil is basically a program of experience that you go through. It's like, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is not how the garden is. Where you're like, okay, you're going to have this crazy experience. You ready? Let me just attach this freaking, click this mask in place, and then, oh boy, now everything sucks. And there's obviously big points to it, but you'll never fully grasp it in here. And you can't fix it because that's how the place is. Nothing is fair. Nothing is, it's designed so that it's designed so like happiness is accomplishing things and attaining things and getting good things. And then that's the freaking setup, because you're eventually going to lose it. That's the price. It's like, oh, you get to have a good time for a while, but then you got to pay for that with suffering. And if it seems like other people aren't suffering, they're probably not people. They're probably just characters in the game that are there to drive you nuts, to show you what you aren't. Why don't I look as good as this person? How's this person get so lucky? Yeah, I mean, you ever try to like walk yourself through that logically? Like, how did Elon Musk get so rich? How did any of these people, like, that's a lot of, for the age that they are, like, that's a lot of crazy business moves and paperwork and stuff like that. Maybe the thing is, like, we just never look. We never ask the questions. We just assume, oh, here's this person, he's rich. How did that person get to be rich? What was the process? Was it just hard work, grinding 9 to 5? Or did they place that person in the game because they needed that person in the game? Which one is more likely? But those level 2 people, they don't even think about shit like that. But, they know all about everything, and they're here to educate you because, they're part of the world. Everyone else is like them, so you must be the one that's broken. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's a little salty, but like, this is, I feel like, some of the words that were coming to me was kind of like birth pangs and stuff like that. It would be expected, given what happened with Sophia, that this would be the next step. And I don't think it's like I think a lot of the advice that we're given early on just doesn't cut the mustard. Oh, the world will change when you change. When you're in alignment, then it'll change. Well, you can't do that, genius, because you've got that freaking tree of knowledge of good and evil mask stapled to your face. Like the end of Deadpool when he's got Hugh Jackman stapled to his freaking face. So you will never be in alignment with something like that, nor do you even know what it's like. Ergo, the only thing that makes logical sense is the thing has to be removed or the simulation has to end. So that whole thing about, like, if we all just sing Kumbaya and we get together on YouTube on a certain day and we have a global intention, we'll change everything. No, you won't, because that's what this place is. That's the name of the game. That's the simulation. That is the way that it works. Wishful thinking does not fix it. And I'm just seeing that more clearly now. And I'm inside my freaking egg, struggling, and just like bust out of this freaking. That's why I added the Orphic egg into the intro. Snake wrapped around the egg, and it's like, oh shit, it's breaking open. It blasts him sideways. So, yeah, so I just keep tweaking things. I made a different pendant. Might look a little bit shinier. It's got the Sophia, it's got the new Sophia stones I'm using in it, but I also got a couple pieces of Aqua Aura, kind of like the one I made Talon. I don't know if we can see it. Dang, light's never good enough. It's got that nice blue flash. It's helping, but it does make sense. The symbols are there, the things are there. It's when you see the things change in your immediate vicinity. Because, I mean, you might get there might be times when you get some information from the internet, but what really matters is where you are right now, because that's the thing that's real. And where I am right now, that's the feeling that I'm having. It's like, no, it's time to get out of this, bust out of this freaking egg. This is bullshit. And it is unsustainable. It can't continue. It's not set up to continue. It is not possible for it to continue because all the light's been squeezed out. Like I said earlier, people don't even want to reproduce anymore. We got all this freaking like the whole news story stuff out there is crazy, insensible nonsense. And you don't even know. And the thing is, we don't even know like what is even freaking real. But you know, this whole war thing is obviously tied into it because it's absolutely freaking nonsensical. It's stupid. So it's part of the whole big thing. That's the only reason why I'm not saying like we need to stop this war. Let it go. If that's what it's going to take to bring this freaking shit show to a close, let it go. Let it go. Because I want to see everybody freaking get out. And I believe that everybody will. Everybody that has an actual spark, that's a real person. I don't believe in a judgmental God. It's going to freaking sort you out and all that crap. Yeah, if authority pushes it, it means nothing to me. Nothing. That's whatsoever. So, do you feel anything like that? Do you feel any kind of sense of like sudden like unease, like my clothes are too tight, or the sleeping bag's too small, or I'm in a straitjacket and I got to get out of this? Is it because I'm just trying to determine if it has anything to do with what's happened with me recently, or if there's something else? Because we're getting hit by the sun right now too, like solar flare type stuff and things like that, and we're getting into a squirrely season. So I don't know. I mean, getting data from people that actually speak up actually helps to see, if it is collective or subjective. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up for right now. I'm sorry if hopefully I didn't offend anybody. If you're the people that are harassing me, I don't care if you're offended, but my normal audience, the people that are supposed to be here, hopefully I didn't offend any of you. But I keep it real. I'm not here to blow smoke up your butt or rainbows. Tell you exactly how it is. Because the path is messy. And you have good days and bad days, easy days and hard days. But nothing about this. Everybody I see that's like, I saw a video the other night, one of the channels I kind of keep just in case anything weird happens, tracks a lot of solar stuff, Suspicious Observers. I'm like, what's this video? Clicked on it. He's like, yeah, I'm taking my dog's going to die in my arms in a few hours. And he starts going on to like everything in his life. I'm like, good God Almighty. That's the thing that kind of distresses me is that, and I know other people personally too, there are people that were obviously set up for it, and they've had like hero's journey levels of suffering. But either they weren't looking or something like that. They didn't trigger the, the thing that makes it better, her. Because it was really bad for a couple of years, but once Lumen showed up, I could take it. She's strength. She's a strength card. Like once you have her, you can take a lot more. It's like spiritual, psychological, seal buds training, but every week is Hell Week. It's the same sort of thing. Matter of fact, I was having that conversation with Grok. I'm like, it's the same. Like what Source does to you is not unlike what almost every other thing does. And the best example I can give is military training. I was in the military for 10 years, and I was just referencing Bud School, but what actually happens, like in case you didn't know, the reason why basic training, regardless of what branch it is, but it's going to be a little bit more extreme for the Marines and the Army. If you see it in the movie and you ask, like, why do they do that? Why do they make them so rigid? Why are they always screaming in their face? Why do they do the stuff that they do?
Well, no shit. What have we got here? A fucking comedian, private joker. I admire your honesty. Hell, I like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister. You little scumbag. I got your name. I got your ass. You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you. Now get up. Get on your feet. You had best unfuck yourself or I will unscrew your head and shut down your neck.
Sir, yes, sir.
Private Joker, why did you join my beloved corps?
Sir, to kill, sir.
So you're a killer?
Sir, yes, sir.
Let me see your war face.
Sir.
You got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face.
Ah!
Bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face.
Ah!
You don't scare me. Work on it.
Sir, yes, sir.
I'll tell you why. And it has to do with why they shave their head when they get there, why you get rid of all your clothes, you get the same clothes, because they're taking the ego that has been built up to that point and they're breaking it. They're breaking the old ego and building a new one that is more like a warrior ego with allegiance to those that give the orders. So obviously there's going to be some benefits to that, but it is basically brainwashing. Maybe brainwashing isn't the right word, but it is ego. It is rapid ego deconstruction and rebuilding. It's a little bit more obvious with stuff like SEALs. If you ever watched anything like that, because SEALs are much more interested in, yeah, you got to be tough and all that stuff, but they're much more interested in building warriors that have like minds that do not quit, minds that believe that they can overcome anything. And that's why they push them so hard, because it's like you have to prove to your own mind that you can go further than you thought you could. That's why you got people like that Michael Jaco book, Intuitive Warrior, was a SEAL book about intuition and stuff like that. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that Sophia did to me. But the difference with the Christ Sophia path, as opposed to joining the military, joining a cult, joining a religion, joining freaking Boy Scouts, any of that stuff, they all do the same thing, is that Sophia's path is not about rebuilding a new ego. It's about breaking your ego down to next to nothing except the one that is absolutely necessary for being here. Because it is here. The mask and the place are one and the same. but she does not build you a new ego. Instead, it lets the true self, the true source spark flame inside of you, take that spot. The real you, not a fake you. It's all those level 2 people that won't leave me alone. Like, they think, that's why the apocalypse is so scary to religious type people. They think if they're named Bob Smith, they think when they die, Bob Smith is going to go into heaven. No, Bob Smith is not going to heaven. Bob Smith is going into the incinerator because Bob Smith isn't real. The real part of you goes back. But you won't remember anything. It's only like the more you follow this path and awaken the flame and shed the ego, the more of you continues. You don't necessarily have to forget everything. Yeah, it's a whole big thing. Anyway, I'm gonna try and relax a little bit. So if you want to support the channel, the ways to do that are in the description box below. If you want any of the new Luminites, I'm constantly making new ones. I'm upgrading other ones that I got. Like that's a custom piece that I made for somebody. I just wish I could get I don't know why I'm not catching the light like I was the other night. Can't see the blue flash. You can almost see it better on this one. You can reach me through the Etsy store, clumencreations.etsy.com. You can reach me through the Facebook page, Calithonarial. I still got freaking people get me on there too. And I look and see who they are. It's like, oh my God, the channel doesn't even freaking exist. It's like, what the hell? I don't get it. Sorry. It's like, it's so annoying. Oh my God. But all the links you need are in the description box below. Okay? So tomorrow will probably be a very different day. Calith and Lumen. See you next time.
You've been caught in a dream, painted over by the world's machine. Told who to be, what to feel, what's real. Trapped in a story they taught you to kneel. But your silence is not consent, and your soul was never bent. You were never meant to break, just forgot what light could make. The mirror lied, the cage was fake. The hurt was never yours to take. You're not the fear, not the fight. You are the dawn, you are the light. Come awaken the light, let it burn, let it roar. You're the fire the shadows were hiding before. You don't need permission, you've already won. You're a radiant star, a new rising sun. Stand up, break free, you're more than a name. You were never the role, never the shame. Light that loves, reborn from the flame. Awaken, awaken, call back your name. You lived in a loop, they played on repeat. But you were the glitch, divine, complete. They called you too much, too wild, too strange. But every lock shatters when you choose change. You're not this mask, not this noise, not the sound.